All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, all honor, and all glory unto Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Makar Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that rule well. Peace, salutations, and blessings be unto the hopeful elect, pushing his truth in sincerity throughout the four corners of the globe, in the sincere hopes of being delivered in these last days. All right, and you know, this is the brother Yakanan from the GMS England branch, and you know, this is going to be a walk and talk style video, as you can see, and you know, as always, Lord willing, it be edifying unto you brothers out there and few sisters listening and also learning. All right, now I don't think this particular video is going to be a long one, but you know, just out here meditating upon, you know, the affairs of this life, you know. And you know what, let me get that in the book of Timothy's. I think it's First Timothy's. Let me get that right quick, because this is where inspiration for this actual lesson is drawn from. All right, this scriptures. All right, Second Timothy's. All right, let me get this right quick. Now this is 2 Timothy chapter 2 and verse 4, and it reads, "No man that warreth entangleth himself with the affairs of this life, that he may please him who have chosen him to be a soldier." All right, and I'm going to read it in the NLT afterwards, but basically, you know, the affairs of this life, we're not to entangle ourselves with, you know, because, you know, to get straight to the point, you know, we've been put upon this earth to be mouthpieces of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. All right, we've been put upon this earth to serve a purpose, you know, to preach the word of the Lord, okay, to be prophets, you know, to say before. That's our job, you know, that's our duty, that's our reasonable service, as pursuing to Romans chapter 12 from the top on down. All right, so, you know, and I go into this, you know, quite often, because it's a constant battle to fully devote yourself, you know, to the work of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. Why? Because there's a lot of distractions, and there's a lot of things that can, if you let it, you know, divert your attention from the mission at hand. But, you know, we can't make that happen. All right, we can't make the affairs of this life consume us and draw us away from our actual purpose that we're here upon the earth. Okay, now in the NLT it says, soldiers, and remember, we are soldiers, all right, we're soldiers of Yahweh Shai, all right? But what kind of war are we involved in as being soldiers? Okay, the scriptures tell us that the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but spiritual, okay? So we are soldiers, spiritual soldiers right now, and right now we're engaged in a spiritual war. Okay, not a carnal war. We're engaged in a spiritual war. Like I said, well, like the scripture says, the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but spiritual. Okay, so right now we are spiritual soldiers that are currently engaged in a spiritual war. Okay? So soldiers don't get tied up in the affairs of civilian life. All right? And I like the way, you know, it puts it, civilian life. So soldiers don't get tied up in civilian life, you know, the affairs of civilian life. All right? Because we got a more important duty at hand, which is serving Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. So we can't get caught up in civilian life. See, anyone outside of this truth, all right, is basically a civilian, okay? They live a lifestyle that a civilian lives. We don't have a civilian lifestyle. We're engaged in a spiritual war, okay? So we can't live like we are civilians. We got to live like we are actually engaged in a spiritual war at all times, okay? We got to live our lives like we are engaged in a spiritual war at all times, okay? This is not just on a Saturday or wherever, you know, whatever day you go out and preach, all right? We are always in a spiritual war. We are always Hebrew Israelites. We are always prophets of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. This is not a show. This is not a gimmick, all right? This is actually our life, okay? So, you know, our conversation has to be as such. We have to reflect, okay? As they say in the world, you got to practice what you preach. That's a true saying, okay? So your mind state has to be always geared towards the meditations of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai and being shrouded in this truth, okay? You got to shroud yourself in the affairs and the ministry, okay, of what it takes to be involved in this truth, man, because this ain't a light thing. This is a very serious occupation that has been bestowed upon us, and we have to fulfill it, okay? Now it says in the NLT once again, soldiers don't get tied up in the affairs of civilian life, for then they cannot please the officer who enlisted them, okay? So if you shroud yourself in the affairs of civilian life, you know, these people in the world and, you know, the things of the world, all right, then you're not going to be able to please the soldier, all right, which the soldier is Yahweh Shai, that enlisted you to this spiritual war, this spiritual battle, okay? As the scripture tells us, you know, no man can serve two masters. It's either you're serving Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai or you ain't, okay? You can't please Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai and be in the world pleasing Satan at the same time, all right? You got to make a choice. It's either you fully devote yourself to Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai or you don't. There is no in-betweens, okay? You know, neither you are hot or cold. All right, let me get that right quick. Because Elder Apostle Tahar always, you know, speaks about, you know, being on fire for this truth. Okay? And if you want to be on fire for this truth, then you have to go all out. You know, the brother Carl Bai over here in the UK, in London, he made a video, something to the effect, you know, the title was, you got to go all out, you know? And when I saw that title, I was like, hey, that's the spirit, because that's the truth. You got to go all out for this truth. You got to go all out for Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, okay? Because if you ain't going all out, then you ain't doing it properly, okay? Now, this is Revelation chapter 3 and verse 10. And it reads, sorry, I know thy works, that thou art neither cold nor hot. I would thou wert cold or hot, okay? So the Lord would rather you were cold or you were hot, all right? Because the scripture says a double-minded man is unstable in all his ways, okay? So you got to pick a side, all right? Now it says, verse 16, so then because thou art lukewarm and neither cold nor hot, I will spew thee out of my mouth. And in NLT it says, but since you are like lukewarm water, neither hot nor cold, I will spit you out of my mouth. All right. So because you're in the middle, you're neither cold and you're neither hot. And basically, you know, you're a double-minded man. All right. The Lord is going to spew you out of his mouth. Okay. And that's a very, you know, terrible position to be in, for the Lord to spew you out of his mouth, man. Okay. Because, you know, we've all experienced that. You know, if you're at a restaurant, all right, for an example, and you ordered, you know, a green tea, all right. Now you told someone it was a green tea. You didn't say it was an iced tea, or you didn't say, well, you said it was a green tea, meaning you're indicating you want something hot. You want a cold drink, a hot drink, Salakia. All right. So that means that you're expecting that drink to be hot when it's delivered to you, all right, by that waiter, okay, who is likened unto a servant, okay? So if that person brings you a green tea, all right, or a tea that is lukewarm, that's going to infuriate you, okay? Because you've paid money for something, and you've paid for a particular service, and you haven't received that service. That person has let you down. So you're going to be thinking all kind of things like, hold on, I ordered a green tea which is meant to be hot, and you've brought me something that's lukewarm. All right, so that indicates that it's just been sitting on the counter, and then they just decided to give you it, you know, when they saw fit. You know, that's not a good thing, and that would infuriate you. Okay, just like a meal, like someone, you know, you go to a restaurant, again using that example, and you order, you know, a meal. You expect that meal to be delivered to you hot, not lukewarm, okay? That's not good, all right? That's a terrible thing. And again, that will infuriate you. And then what would you do? You go back to that shop and you will make a complaint, okay? Look, this is lukewarm. I don't want this. I didn't order this, okay? You wouldn't expect that type of service. Well, it's the same with Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. There's a particular standard and requirement and responsibility, all right, that the Lord requires from us being involved in his truth. Okay, there's a standard that must be upheld. And, you know, Elder Apostle Har has made it very clear throughout the years of what's expected of brothers, you know, in this truth, especially brothers that are part of Great Millstone. Okay, over and over again. You know, when you compare, you know, Great Millstone to other camps, there is really no comparison. All right, it's pretty obvious through the spirit of who the Lord is dealing with. Okay, because all members of Great Millstone are required, first of all, to have their own pages that they upload to and teach to, and also to be, you know, uploading videos throughout the week. Okay. So that's a heavy thing, because when you survey and you watch other camps, they're not doing that. You'll have, you know, a camp, all kinds of men in that camp, and maybe only 2 people have their own page, you know? So, you know, the requirements is no joke. You know, if you want to, Lord willing, be of the elect, work has to be done. You know, all hands on deck kind of spirit, man. So, you know, I'm going to cut it off there. As I said, you know, I didn't want this one to be too long. And Lord willing, it was edifying, you know, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai Hashem Akar Kodash. And until next time, I'll say Shalom.